Well, good morning, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. 'Cause I know some folks are watching on the other side of the world. Some folks come watch in the afternoon and the evening as a replay. So, welcome to one and all. It's always so good to see each and every one of you. And I'm just so thankful that you decided to take some time out of your day, night, evening, wherever you are, to come and say hi to me. I've got my good friend John here from Guys Craft 2. I had John on from Artie's Quilting Co last week, and I'm still waking up. So, I had to think about that one for a minute. So, good morning to John. I'm just going to let him introduce himself, tell him a little bit about himself and what he does and that sort of thing there. So, over to you.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Sean. Good morning, crafters. My name is John. I am from Guys Craft 2. Sean was kind enough to help me about a year and a half ago, really, launch my channel. I am very new to quilting, sewing, so still have lots and lots to learn, but um, my channel's kind of about the adventure of sewing and the things I've learned, the mistakes I make, and hopefully my skills have improved in the last year and a half and will continue to.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I mean, that's one of the things I like about my channel is like, basically I try to make it as like, here is my journey. You just kind of get to come along and join me along on the ride. And it's interesting to go back to those earlier days and see, okay, this is where I was at a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and how much I've improved since, both in my presentation, because at first, oh, good gravy, it was a hot mess, but I'm so shy. Like, it's like, it takes time. So if you're one of those people think about setting up a channel and you're like, I'm not going to be good enough, don't worry about that. Just get in there, turn the camera on, have some fun with it, and reach out if you have questions. But yeah, it's fun to be able to look back. It's kind of like a video log. You can go back and go, okay, what did I do a year ago? Because I can't remember why I walked into the kitchen behind me sometimes. You turn around. It's nice to go back and take a look and see where you have been, where you are now, and then come back in a year or so and see where you are, yeah, a year from now. So it looks like we've got a nice crowd here this morning. I just love that everybody um, is here this morning. Michelle is asking, will we get to see the new machine? The answer to that is no, because I don't know where it is. It's still, I don't know if it's shipped. I don't know if it's in the transit system somewhere. So no, you will not get to see the new, yes, you will get to see the new machine. It will not be today, unless it magically shows up on my doorstep later on, then we might be able to do there. So yeah, do I see a sneak peek? No, unfortunately not. There's no sneak peek. As I said, I don't know where it is. It could still be in Pennsylvania for all I know. But as soon as it shows up, I will notify everybody. We'll do a premiere, we'll do a live, we'll do some sort of fun event so everybody gets to see it at the same time. I'm super excited to be able to show each and every one of you what it is, and I want to play with it. I got to play with it a little bit at the quilt show last week. I went back on Sunday and I wanted to go pet it for a little bit, but I decided that would be creepy, so I didn't do that. Boy, I wanted to. But yeah, hopefully it'll show up soon. They told me a week or two, so it's going to be probably closer to 2 weeks than it is one, but that's okay. Like, it's on its way. It'll be here soon. So we are going to work with the wonderful Benina machine today. Let's see who we have here with us this morning. It looks like my friend Annette was here as our first viewer. So congratulations to the first viewer award. That's bragging rights only. I don't have the budget to give out prizes, sadly. Dragonflies for Donna was here afterwards. Joycey, good morning to you. Mama J Enterprises, Miss Andrea is here. Good morning. If you haven't seen her channel, go check it out. It should be exclamation point Andrea. I'm going to try and catch as many people's channels as I can, but feel free to put your own channel in if you want to. Chloe Morgan, good morning to you. Good morning to Russ. It's good to see him. He says he is here watching while he waits for his gallivanting partner to arrive in about half an hour. I got to ask him more about that later on. Good morning to Miss Sandy. It's good to see you. Good morning to Miss Teresa. Sandy, I think I've said already, good afternoon to Miss Christina. She is from, I think she's my friend from Sweden. Let me just get that right in a minute. Good morning to Miss April from Someone Quilt with April Sawtell. Let's see. Deb S, the Pugmum Quilter, is also here with us. I think we have her in as Deb S. I'll get that right in a minute. Okay, let's see. Melanie Taylor, Judy Herbert. Nancy is here with us. Pasita, good morning. Pasita sent me this beautiful sticker that you might see here on my sewing machine as well. It says sip and sew. I thought that was appropriate for me. And it fits perfectly in that little space there too. I had to trim the sticker a little bit to get it to fit, but I was like, I've been looking for a sticker. It shows up in my mailbox yesterday afternoon. I was like, this is perfect. It's a hair too big, but I was like, nothing the pair of scissors can't fix. So it's perfect. I love it. There's another sticker in there that I'll show you all tomorrow. It's got a picture of. It's got a seam ripper on there. It would not. I was going to put that on there first. It didn't fit. I was like, oh, this is so sad. But, there we go. But that might go on the new machine, so we'll have to see how it is. Good morning to Miss Laurie. She says, good day. I got to meet her last weekend again at the Quilt Show. I got to meet her last year at QuiltCon, again last week in Hampton. That was a lot of fun. Polly is here with us. Good morning to Sheila. I got to meet her last week, and she was the one that gave me the 2 beautiful fat quarters as part of our block swap last week as well. So that was great. Let's see. I know I'm going to miss people, and I apologize in advance. Inez is here with us. Good morning to you. Good morning to Miss Kim. Good morning, Fallon. Art Dex Creation says good morning to me and you. Margie is here with us. Adam Sows, good morning. He said he can't stop, but I thought quickly I'd say hi to both of you. Have fun sewing. Adam, I need to get in touch with you because I want you to be on here one day soon. So
I got to meet Adam at QuiltCon.
I know, and I'm jealous about that. I was like, once I saw that, I was like, I should have gotten on that plane and gone to Phoenix. Like, I had such a big thing of FOMO the other week, it wasn't funny. So I don't know. Hopefully, I keep trying to talk him and his husband to come on over to Raleigh next year, but they keep talking about going to Disneyland or something instead. Like, don't go to Disneyland. Come to QuiltCon in Raleigh next year. So
he said last week he said they've already made reservations and bought tickets.
What, for Raleigh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hallelujah. Very nice. Yeah, because the last time we talked about that, he wasn't able to make. Okay, so apparently Nightbot is misbehaving.
Oh, my goodness. Nightbot's always a challenge, is it not?
Not for me. I've always had very good luck with it.
Oh, no, it took me a while to because when we do the giveaways for the holiday quilting bees and that, it took me a while to get everything synced. In fact, I had to call Russ. Finally walked me through some of the setup. I didn't have it set up just right.
Yeah, I mean, it's always worked for me. Let me just check. If it doesn't work, then we'll just have to let's just see what happens here. A couple of quick things we can try, and if not, we'll just have to run without it. It's not popping up.
So, Sean, interesting enough, one of the reasons I first gravitated to you and your channel was because of Jack.
And, oh, really? Okay, yep. I want to hear this story.
Well, so many of the channels that you watch, some of them have been quilting for years and years. And not only do their quilts and their piecing already look perfect, if they're not, then they want to go back and redo this, this quarter, this half-inch, quarter-inch block. It's like, okay, really, guys, I would be so thrilled if I could just get it to that level. And just the fact that you're just so you and honest and go, yep, I sewed that backwards. Here, let me get Jack out now. Let me rip all this out. Let me start again. Just so humble just to say, we all make mistakes. It's not a big deal. We turn it around this way. And, not everything has to be perfect the first time out.
It's really neat to hear. And I've always thought that's something that's important to do. There's definitely channels out there where everything is polished, it's perfect, it's a tutorial, and it's like, okay, if you want to go from A to B to C to D, great, happy, and that's wonderful that exists. But like as I was mentioning earlier in the podcast, hang on, this is a real life, not a podcast. Earlier in the event, this is my quilting journey. You get to come along with me from A to Z. Mistakes and all. I make mistakes all the time. And I've heard so many folks tell me, hey, look, I love that you show your mistakes because it makes them feel better because, we all do it. We all, I've actually worn out a Jack or two, like one of them's really, really dull because I've used the darn thing so much. So, but I think it's encouraging because sometimes if you see stuff that's perfect and everything else, it discourages you because you're like, well, why can't I be perfect like that person? Which is the worst thing we can all do. Like, we should never compare ourselves to someone else. We're all in our own part of our own quilting journey. You started a couple of years ago. I've been sewing now for maybe 10, I don't know, less than 15 years. So yeah, we're all in our different parts. Some people are really, really good at FPP, foundation paper piecing. I'm okay at it, but I'm probably the world's slowest, paper pizza. Like, and that's okay. I take my time because I do not want to pull out Jack for that project. That's a mess. I've had to do it once just for a little bit because it just kind of got bunched up. But it's I take my time with that. But then these tiny pieces, I excel at that because I've had a lot of practice. But so we all have our own thing. So yeah, the Nightbot has been naughty. I've tried kicking it back into gear. Apparently, it's just not going to work today. So it's very, very unusual. I don't know why it is doing that, but that's okay. We'll try it one more time and see what happens. It's just weird because it's worked every other time. It's never been a problem. So all right. So what are we working on today? Did you bring something along to sew with you?
I did. I'm still working on the same thing that I've been working on the last couple because work has been so crazy. There's no opportunity during the week. So I have been working on my daughter never asked for anything. She asked for placemats. So
Oh,
I
nice.
am working on placemats for her because I get to come to Virginia for Easter. And
Oh,
so
nice.
I will be flying in. We fly in on Good Friday and then usually fly out Easter afternoon. But I get to see the grandkids and all that. So
And that's out in the western part of the state, right?
it is. She's down in the Roanoke area, so
Okay.
down in Shenandoah Valley.
Yep. Beautiful area. Very, very nice area. I've been to Roanoke a few times. It's about five-ish hours from here. So we don't go out there very often, but
Because you're up
yeah.
outside of Hampton Roads.
Yeah, I'm in the like yeah, I'm in Hampton Roads, like in the southern part of it, out in the western
Yep.
suburbs. But yeah, you know pretty much where I am. Like it's nice with the Mid Atlantic show that I went to last week because it's like
Oh,
20 minutes away. So as long as the tunnel's not backed up.
yeah.
All right. So
Well,
what did I bring along today? I decided I was going to do. Where did it go? You can sit over there. I'm going to bring along Clue 2, I think, of the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, the new one that just came out. Is this the right one? Hang on. I was going to do two of these, but I don't think I'm going to have time. So I do need to duck out just to here early today because we've got some events planned. But I want to make sure I got my live in as well because I love hanging out with you guys. And then this was the last week that I was able to get John on before daylight savings kicks in, which kicks Arizona back an hour. So it would have been 5 o'clock for him next week instead of 6. So I was like, I can't do that to him. That's just cruel. So
yeah. Interesting enough, I heard on the news last night, and I didn't realize it. I thought Arizona was the only state that didn't change clocks, and actually, we're one of two states that never change clocks. The other state is
it's
Hawaii.
Indiana, right?
No, Hawaii.
Well, that's right, Hawaii. I forgot about that. Yes.
Indiana, half the state changes, and then the other half doesn't.
Can't keep track of it all.
Yep. Only reason I know is because growing up in Kentucky, we were right there on the border. So funny, the southern part of Indiana doesn't change. The middle part does, never changes, and then the northern part does change. So it's like I can't
That'd be
imagine
so
living
weird.
in a state, right?
That'd be so weird seeing half the state change.
Yeah.
Like I know in Australia, like some states observed it, some didn't. Like the state I lived in, New South Wales, or observed it. Victoria did. The state above us, Queensland, did not. But that was but it was only and then South Australia, I can't remember, and that sort of thing there. But and as just a quick thing for my friends in Queensland. I hope you're all doing okay. They got slammed by a pretty wicked cyclone, which is a hurricane spinning in the opposite direction. They don't get cyclones down there, so I've heard from one or two folks already. But yeah, if you're watching this afterwards, say hi in the comments. Let us know you're doing okay as well, because like I'm sure the folks in Florida and the Gulf are like, okay, yeah, category 1 or 2 is not that bad because you guys are all used to it. But where they hit in Brisbane, it just they don't get it. The last storm I think they got was like in 1990. I remember that as a kid because we got the remnants where I was because I lived like 400 miles away. And but yeah, I think they're suffering pretty bad right now. That a lot of flooding and that sort of thing there. So yeah, if you're in the Queensland, Northern New South Wales area and watching, please let us know you're okay. I'd appreciate that. So Let's see. We've got the chat's going on quite nicely. It looks like people are saying hi to everybody else. As I said, I apologize in advance for the Nightbot not behaving itself. I do not know why it's doing that. I figured I could kick it back into gear, but apparently not. I think what I'd have to probably do is start the live again, and we're not doing that. So, um, all
Adam
right.
Cole
So,
says that's all the reason to move to Arizona.
yeah, I know. And we all have our own opinions about daylight savings. Some of us enjoy it, some of us don't. I think probably best not to get into that because we've had that in the past where people have gotten very, very excited, and we want to try and keep this a positive place where we could all just talk about quilting and sewing and not get into arguments and that sort of thing.
No, that is
There's plenty of places to go do that. This is not one of them. So everyone's been very respectful, which is really, really good. But yeah, I don't know.
Sean, I think that's one thing that I've learned to so appreciate on the YouTube. We have such a fun YouTube family. They're
Oh,
so
we do.
supportive.
Yeah.
We all get along so well. We enjoy talking about our quilting journey. We enjoy talking about the different shows and that. And it's just such a nice place to come and just hang out and just get to be together.
Oh, for sure. And that's one of the things I love. And that was one of the things, like when I started my channel, I was not expecting the community aspect of it. One of the reasons I started was, and I've told this story, and I'm sure the people who watch every week are probably tired of me telling this, but I'm going to tell you one more time. I saw my wife watching these knitting podcasts, and that's kind of where I got the format for mine. Yeah, and these folks were getting stuff done. I'm like, well, maybe I should start a channel and I'll get stuff done. But yeah, the community was an unexpected bonus for me, and now I have my group of people, because I don't have any well, I have very few quilters nearby that I know. Like there's one lady I work with who quilts and she does a beautiful job, and she'll bring in her show and tell for me sometimes, and I always look forward to that. But other than that, yeah, I don't really have anyone around me except Sheila, who I met last week. But for the most part, I don't really have any close friends or anything else like that here in this area that I can go hang out with and have a sewing session together. So this has been a really, really nice that we can all get together. We all have our own, we have our own channels, and we all get together, and like you see a lot of the same people in my life as in Donnell's and yours and everything else. Like it's just like a little cool little quilt gang, I guess we can call it. That doesn't go around terrorizing people.
Well, it is, right? Because I got to meet, Andrew, the comeback quilter, and I got to meet Stephanie Stitches and all that at the
Yeah,
retreat I went to, which was awesome, right? It was so much fun in that to get to meet folks in person. But it's like, I already felt like I knew so many people because we chat, right? And we sew
yeah,
together. And so even though I may not see you in person, and and on our side, right, we only see the chat, so we don't even get to see faces.
right.
When we meet, folks that have become part of our family that we're used to chatting with once or twice a week, it's like, well, it just feels natural. It doesn't feel,
Yeah, we're not
I don't know.
strangers. We're friends
Right.
already. Which it's so nice having that. I definitely get that, and that's something I had to tell. I've told folks in the past, like at these quilt shows, if you see me running around, please come say hi, because you know what I look like. Probably have no clue who you are. So,
Yeah. And it's not, I mean, and it's funny, if you give me your screen name, I probably know right away. Right. But
oh, for sure, yeah, yeah, but it's not. Yeah, as I said, I wouldn't know, unfortunately. So yeah, no. If you ever see me at a quilt show, I had a couple of people come up to me last week and say, "Hey, how you doing? It's I'm such and such. I love your channel," and which is I always love hearing that. It's not a prideful thing. I hope it doesn't sound that way, but it's always nice to know that people are enjoying what I put out there each week. So, but yeah, now if you ever see me around, just stop and say hi. Hopefully it is me and not not my doppelganger. Because that would be embarrassing for you. But if it's at a quilt show, if it's at a quilt show, it's probably me. If it's some random dude in the street in the middle of Arizona, it's probably not me because I haven't been to Arizona yet. I'd love to get out there someday, but um, you know what I mean. Yeah. Sheila says I'm easy to find. Yeah, I'm about 6'5", so I am fairly easy to pick out in a crowd. So yeah, if you find some little short dude with red hair that looks like a quilter, it's not me. So yeah, that's a very good point.
Wow, that's
So
crazy. I had no idea because see, I only see you sitting normally, so I would had no clue you're 6'5".
well, see, that was the thing, like at QuiltCon last year, because I went to Raleigh last year, and I met a bunch of viewers, and some of them I remember, and some of them, well, actually, I remember most of them, and but yeah, that was the thing I kept hearing over and over and over again. It's like, you're so tall, and I'm like, I've always been tall. But then, like, yeah, again, like if you think about it, you see me sitting from about mid chest up. You got no idea whether I'm, 5'2" or 6'5". You could probably tell I'm not 5'2", but yeah, you don't really, yeah, you probably, the average person will probably think I'm an average height. So, um, yeah, it was interesting. I never really put two and two together until last year. Now I just make a point of mentioning, hey, if you're at the show, look for the tall dude with red hair. That's, it's starting to thin out a little bit. Yeah, that's probably me. Because you don't see a lot of guys at the show, and most of them are running around behind their wives and or husbands and that sort of thing there as well. So
Yeah, it's funny, going into some of the booths, you can tell, like, they don't necessarily register that you're a quilter, you're there to actually look and purchase, they kinda look around, but then when you start carrying a couple of tote bags full of stuff, they realize you might be doing more than just carrying things, and,
I
I just
found too, like, because that was one of the things I've always said in years past. It's like I've always felt very much accepted. That has never really been an issue at the
Yep.
majority of places I've been to. I've heard some of the other gentlemen say, different things. But yeah, you sometimes have to go out and actively seek help because a lot of the salespeople might think, yeah, you're just there just to look around, pass the time while your wife or husband is shopping, and that sort of thing there. But I've found that if you wear a quilting t-shirt, like, the one, like, I think last week I had, what was it, the one of, I forget what shirt I had last week. Might have been every day's a good day for quilting, or if you see a seam rippers now, it's not a good. If you wear one of those type of t-shirts, I think it helps the salespeople twig that he's a male quilter. Mate. Yeah, I found that's helped out immensely for me. Like, yeah, sometimes you still got to seek out a little bit of help, but I found like the booth I actually bought my sewing machine to, like when I went past that one there, I guess they saw the shirt and they're like, "Hey, are you in the market for a machine? Here's a free tote bag," that sort of thing there. And I just thought that was like really really cool. Like I wasn't even in the booth; I was just wandering down the aisle, and they did that and said, "Yeah, if you're interested, come back and see us." And I'm like, "Yes, I am, but I've got to go meet some people and I'll come back and see you." And that was actually the place I ended up buying the machine from. Like I thought it was really nice, just that level of service. But
Yep.
and I love the machine. It wasn't just the service, that was a big part of it, but also the machine. Like the machine has to feel right for you to buy it. So, but yeah, I found the shirt definitely helps if you are looking to get service as a gentleman in the quilt show. Wear a quilting t-shirt; it'll definitely help you. And I've got some good recommendations for those shirts as well if you need some. So,
But I do think over the last, even just the year and a half or so that I've been quilting and going to shows and doing things, it does seem that you see more men showing up. You do see, I think,
yes,
booths starting to recognize that there are men out there that have money, want to, it's like,
yeah.
I do think that tide has somewhat turned even in just the last year and a half.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree with that 100%, because, well, my local quilt shop knows me pretty well now. They see me coming in and they automatically know, oh, yeah, they might not know my name, like, because I don't tell everybody, hey, I'm Sean, I'm the guy who sews, I'm on YouTube, please follow, blah, blah, blah. I just don't do that. I'm way too shy for that, but they all know who I am. I go
Mhm.
up to the cutting counter and they know it's for me. And it was funny, the last time I went to there's another quilt shop not that far down the road from me, cute little place. And I went in there and bought some fabric for something. I can't remember which project it was. Actually, it might have been this fabric. That's what it was. Yeah, it was backing for a quilt for a coworker. And
Okay.
I took the quilt top in, to match up to it. And the lady was like, she finally figured out that I was buying it for myself. Like I was actually the one quilting it, not, I wasn't buying it for my wife or whatever. And she was so excited, like that a gentleman quilter had come into her shop and that sort of thing there. And she was actually having a class at the time. She's like, "Would you mind going into my beginner's class and showing them what you're making?" I'm like, "Sure, I don't care." Like, it's just fun to see that reaction. Like she was so excited to see that. So Good morning, Barry. He is here with us. He's actually another. I don't know if you've seen Barry's channel there, John, but he has a fun new channel. He's a brand new sewer, and he retired recently, and he's now doing his own channel. He's a lot of fun, and I'm excited to have him on here later on in the month. And I don't know if you've noticed this, John, but I've actually got a theme this month. It's going to be old gentleman quilters.
Oh, wow. No, I did not. And I have not seen Barry's channel, so I will definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's a really good channel. Let me go grab that one real quick. We're gonna have to do a little bit of extra work today since my friend Nightbot is not behaving itself, but that's okay. All right, let's see. So we'll put Barry's channel in. But yeah, no, he's doing a lot of fun stuff. I'm just going to try Nightbot one more time. Let's just see if it's working up.
So Russ posted that him and I are besties. What that means is he sends me stuff that he thinks I need to buy, and he's a bad influence at times.
Oh yeah, yeah. Russ is a lot of fun. We've corresponded since the day he started his channel, and we actually got to hang out last year at QuiltCon for the day, along with sewing with Llewayne. I always get tongue twisted with his name, with Larry. Those two are a hoot. Like hanging out with them. If you ever get a chance to hang out with either one of those two for the day, you need to jump on it because they are so fun to hang out with. So Russ says he's innocent. He swears. Yeah, I think we all have that friend. We all have that quilting friend that is a bad influence on us. I'm trying to think who mine would be.
I get text because he knows I like Tula Pink. He knows I like certain
Yeah.
things, and it's like, oh, just in case you missed this. Well, I missed it because I'm trying not to spend money, and I purposely don't open emails. But now that you've texted me and shown it to me, now I feel like I have to go.
Yeah, because you might miss out on something fun,
Yeah.
No, Russ is a lot of fun. I love Russ to death. He's a good mate. Him and I text back and forth about different things as well too. So yeah, but no, if you ever get a chance to hang out with Russ for the day, definitely jump on that opportunity. So
No, perfect. Did you find Barry's channel? Oh, Barry Quilt.
I did. I did put it in there.
Okay,
So
perfect.
about to go shopping with Candace for both enablers is what Russ is saying. Yeah. So yeah, I have my group of enablers as well. Dragonflies with Donna would be definitely one of them. I think Tasha is another one. I have so many. John from Artie's Quilting Co. would have to be an enabler too. Every time he sends us an email saying, hey, there's a new pattern coming out, I'm like, just take my credit card away. Good morning, So Blessed by Jess. It's good to see you. I'd tell you to put your link in, but our Nightbot is misbehaving today, so I don't know why.
Good morning, Jess.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun too. I think we had Jess on once. I think about that the other day. I was like, have we had Jess on before or not? Let me know. If not, we definitely need to have you back if we haven't had you on yet. I'll have to get in touch with you about that as well. Along with Adam. I need Adam on my channel at some point. Just got to stop him long enough to actually get him to sit still. So
It just he cracks me up, right? Because it's like, well, I bought this Tula Pink, so I made sweatshirts for me and my husband last night, or we're going out Saturday, so I threw some denim on the machine and made us a new pair of jeans, and it's like he just acts like he knocks some of this out like it's no big deal, and it's like, dude, I'd be 6 months trying to, I'd be a different size by the time I got it sewn.
yeah, but we all have our own talent. Like, yeah, it's amazing how we can do that. Like, but it's we all have our own talents. Like, there's some people that can knock out those. I was talking about those legit kits earlier with the toasty. Like, I was talking to Donna at Handmade by Ying last night, and I think I mentioned the other day, like, I'm realistically looking at a year or two to put toasty together, and that's okay. Like, I'm just enjoying the journey, and it's a retirement quilt for a co-worker of mine who's retiring in 4 years. I said, you can't retire early, just in case. And then there's some folks like Donna, she can knock out one of those legit kits in, I'm not really sure how long, but I'd say a few days, maybe a couple of weeks. Like, so we just all have our own unique skill set. So
Well,
it's.
that's what you learn with this YouTube family, right?
Yeah,
Is we all support one another. We all do it differently. How we get to the end result may be a little bit different. It was funny at the quilting retreat. I was working on blocks of the month from Kona from the year before because I ended up never getting one done. So I took all of those. I had them all cut. And I remember I finally got the one block put together that just went in every direction and it looked
right.
really good. And Andrew walks by and goes, you these two are in the wrong place. And I said, that's called John's artistic touch, and it looks great because I'm not ripping all that out.
Oh, I've done that more than once. Yeah, I go with, what is it, Bob Ross, the happy hippie, whatever, the painting dude. Yeah, I just usually say it's a happy accident. Like
Yep.
there was I do that all the time. Like there was a horse block I made with Tammy a couple of months ago, and I'm cutting the fabric out. And it was actually the second time I made the same mistake. And I cut out the fabric backwards. Like there's a light fabric for the horse and a dark fabric for the horse. And yeah, I cut it out backwards. Last time I fixed it a year or so ago. And this time I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. And everybody that's seen that block has said it looks so good the way I did it and didn't realize that I did it backwards. So, you know, sometimes it's worth taking it out, ripping it out and redoing it. If it's a really bad mistake, you've got to just take the time, chalk it up to making a mistake, hopefully learn not to do it again. Although if you're Sean, that is not a guarantee. But then sometimes, yeah, it's a happy accident. You just leave it in. It makes it your own. And sometimes it looks even better. Yeah. And I've done that more than a dozen times too. So there we go. And there says Adam is talented at everything. That is definitely true. Sandy says, I was shocked when I heard Donna said it only took her 8 days. And that's about the legit kit. Yeah, she is really, really good at that stuff. She does a lot of testing for them. She's got a system down pat. She's got it all worked out. I'm just enjoying it. For me, I just enjoy the journey with it, but I'm also not under, like, she does, the testing and that sort of thing there, you do have to be kind of prompt and that sort of thing there because they want the results back, before, 2027, so because I'm in no big rush, I'm just enjoying the journey and taking you all along for me. It's a whole different story. So yeah, we just all have our own, that sort of thing there. I hope that makes sense. So,
So,
okay,
Sean, how
read
many
us
projects do you keep going at a time?
too many.
I think we all do, don't we?
I'm actually going to do a video about that, I think, next week. Because, oh no, hang on. I did a video about the works in progress a month or two ago, and there's been one or two added since. I think, like, actual works in progress, if you take out these puzzle and mystery quilts, because that's 2, I'd say you're less than 10. Now, as for finished quilt tops that are waiting to get quilted, oh, that's a whole different animal. I'm hoping to get a video recorded about that next week. That number's a little scary. We may have to have some sew-alongs or some sew-a-thons or something like that where we actually get some quilting done. But I don't know. We'll have to see what there. But I think works in progress is about 10 because I think we've got these 2. There's the 2 farm projects I'm working on. One with Art East, one with Elizabeth Hartman. There's the now I can't remember all the rest of them. I'm doing terrible. Oh yeah, the 2 soul, the Alice in Wonderland, the 100-acre woods. So that's 6. The trash trucks and the machinery thing for my nephew. That's 7. What else am I doing? Oh, the fruit. 8. So it might be 10. I don't know, but I really do think I have like ADD or ADHD, one of those 2 things. And like today, I might feel like doing this, and tomorrow I might feel like doing that. Good afternoon, Christina. Thank you for joining us. She says she has to go. Have a great day. I'm glad you was able to join us for a little while. So yeah, but I just kind of work on what I feel like working on. And sometimes I might feel like doing this, and next week I might feel like doing something else. And I've had folks tell me, hey, look, I really enjoyed it. You just kind of bounce around because it keeps it interesting. And I always think of that quote from Forrest Gump, like life is a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. And that's kind of how the channel is. You never know what I'm going to get up with because I may see a new pattern and I try very, very hard not to have 50 projects at the same time, but sometimes I've just got to start it. Like when my dog park quilt kit, shows up, I'm going to try very hard not to open it and start assembling it. But will I?
Well,
You'll have to watch and find out. I'm going to try to be good and not start right away. But I don't know.
that's my problem is I find, like QuiltCon, I bought so many different projects, and it's like, well, now I really want to work on those, and I'm like, okay, I already have 8 sitting on the shelf that I've cut, and won't even count the ones that are lined up on the table that I thought I would work on next. And then I'm still trying to work on like placemats that kind of have a deadline, right? I mean, if I don't get Easter nailed out soon, we'll have to do Easter of 26, and that's fine too. I mean, I'm not gonna stress about it, but it's just like, wow, it's so the month goes so quick anymore.
It does. I will say this though, and this is just my opinion, and everyone can differ from it if they so wish. But this is your craft time and your fun time.
Yes.
And yeah, if you have deadlines, like if you're doing Christmas gifts or birthday gifts and that sort of thing there, and you want to give it to them for their birthday this year and not 4 years from now, then yes, you need to focus on that. But other than that, you do you. If you working on 15 different projects at the same time brings you joy, then go ahead and do it. Like I'm not going to judge you, and anybody that does judge you shouldn't do it, because everyone's on their own little journey. So that's just my opinion. And this is, if you don't agree with me on that, like, yeah. And I love the people there's people out there that are monogamous and they do one project at a time from start to finish. And that's fantastic. If that works for you and that brings you the joy and that keeps you organized, because I'm sure there's some folks out there where if you worked on 2 or 3 things at once, it'll drive them absolutely insane. If that's you, then don't do 2 or 3 projects at once. But yeah, if you like all the shiny things and you want to start all the shiny things at the same time and it brings you joy, definitely go ahead and do that. Like, there's no shame in that. At least not with me. I'm not going to judge you. I'd be the world's biggest hypocrite if I did. But so that's just my opinion on that. And hopefully, folks can either agree with me or respect my beliefs if they differ, which is fine. So Deb says she has about 15 whips at the same time. Inez says she sews in the morning and quilts in the evening. Well, that's an idea. I have 3 different pairs of socks on different needles I'm knitting, and I wouldn't even count the sewing projects. Okay, very good. So yeah, that's an idea. I've been trying to sew a little bit every day this year, and so far I've kept up with it every day,
Yeah,
which is really
I had hoped to do that. Work has just been crazy, so I didn't. So the new commitment was I would like to long arm a quilt every Sunday morning.
oh, there you
Just
go.
each week, knock out just one, and so we'll see. Tomorrow's Sunday, so we'll see if we can get that started because that was the yeah. Because the problem is, I have literal. I counted the other day. I have 19 quilt tops. And it's like, okay, but the problem is I'm in here sewing, and it's like, okay, so you're just adding to it. But the one thing is they don't expire, they don't go bad, they don't get moldy. So it's like
Right.
I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, you say 19 quilt tops. I'm probably not far. Like, honestly, I'm probably not that far behind you. Um, we're all going to find out next week. As I said, I plan on pulling them all out and going down the list and saying this is what I have, and we'll see how we go with it. All right, where do we go? Nice pink fabric here. Okay. Art Specs Creation says I'm working my way through a full tub of sewing projects that I have cut out for as long as 20 years ago. The tub had 21 items in it. I'm down to the last 8. That is awesome. All right, let me just grab Art Specs Creations channel. I can actually click on people's things and do it that way. So it's going to be a little different to usual, but we'll get it to work. Apparently, Nightbot is not working for others as well. So maybe like a system issue that is causing it to misbehave. So I said I've had really good luck with it. I really have never had an issue with it not working. So when folks were saying this morning it wasn't working, I was like, what?
It happens. It's so funny because I have StreamYard. So one of the things I like to try to do as a holiday quilting bee. So it's basically a holiday sew along on holidays, Memorial Day, Labor Day, those type of holidays. and we did Veterans Day, and finally, I just had to apologize and shut off, restart, do all of that because I thought I was having internet trouble. Come to find out, StreamYard was having trouble that day.
Oh, okay.
So, which is very unusual, right? I mean, most of those type of services are, they're up and running 99.7%, but it's that
Yeah.
one time you happen to need them that it does happen.
Yeah, that might actually be something I need to think about is like, yeah, what happens if StreamYards is down because it's the only one I use. Well, I suppose I could duck in and use YouTube, but then doing it with a guest is difficult. There are several other options out there for me, so I might have to go sign up for a second one. And that way, if something goes wrong, then I can at least jump onto server B and do it that way. It'll
Yep.
give me, I'd have to get a new link, but that's not the end of the world. But yeah, that might be something I'll work on this week. Good morning to Mr. Eric. It's good to see you. Eric Oda, he has his own wonderful channel called Treasure Heart Creations. And he's been on here once. He actually got up like 4 something in the morning because he's out in, I want to say LA area, somewhere out in California anyway. And yeah,
Oh,
he
no.
was on with me one morning early and like super early like that. Good evening to Miss Nicole. It's so good to hear from you. She's one of my friends from the Queensland area of Australia. She has been through that nasty, I want to keep wanting to say hurricane. Been living in America too long. The cyclone. So it looks like she's up and running again. So that is good to hear. I think this cyclone's gone or the worst of it's done. But yeah, I think it stalled off the coast too, which wasn't really helpful. But it's really, really good to hear from Nicole and hear that she's doing okay. So all right.
It's funny, we forget, and we do have, especially you have such an international audience that, the weather patterns and all that are so different. I text my daughter who's in Virginia one day and said something about, it was February, and it's like, Dad's still trying to get used to turning the AC on in February. And she
Right.
texts me back and goes, "Yeah, your timing couldn't be any better because I just picked up one of the kids from school. They're sick, and it's 18 degrees today with 3 inches of snow or something." Like, oops, sorry, I didn't even think to check your forecast.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, you talk about international, like, yeah, I'm usually looking at weather patterns and that sort of thing all around the world because I try and keep up with what's going on at home.
Hmm.
And then obviously I keep an eye on what's happening here. And then I work with like with my day job, I'm also looking at I work with a lot of Canadian customers. So I'm also looking at the weather and the events and sort of stuff in Toronto, Montreal, Halifax, that sort of area there. I don't deal a lot of Western Canada, but um, yes, I'm always kind of knowing what's going on pretty much everywhere, it seems. Now, if you're in, South America or Asia or something like that, I don't pay too much attention to that area. But and if you are watching from Asia or South America, let me know in the comments. I'd love to, or Africa, let me know in the comments because I'd love to know if I have any viewers in those areas as well. Or if you're watching from McMurdo Station in Antarctica, very unlikely. If you are, someone's watching from Antarctica, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear someone's watching from the South Pole, even if it's just a couple of penguins, or well, it wouldn't be a polar bear because there's no polar bears down there. If you're a polar bear in the North Pole, yeah, say hi in the comments as well. That'd be fun to hear if someone was watching from one of those areas. So, all right. Aaron Fruta says, I need to follow your example. I have a lot of projects in the wings to be done. Fantastic accomplishment. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Like it's definitely good to say, okay, yeah, it's like let yourself be okay if you have a bunch of stuff, but it's also good to set yourself a goal too and say, hey, I want to have less projects at the end of the year than I started with. And that's kind of what I'm going with this year. Like, I'm not saying, okay, I'm not going to quilt all my quilt tops. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to have to do this full time, which I'd love to, but the money's not going to be there for it. I want to do a net loss. I want to have less quilt tops at the end of 2025 than I did at the start. I probably should have counted them at the start of the year. Maybe I'll count them today and we'll just say, okay, less at the end of the year than we did today. Because I really don't know. Okay,
Well,
that's what we're doing.
it's funny how much faster the quilt tops go together than the you just don't think about it. It's just like, wow, I just had no idea I got that big a stack all of a sudden. It's like, how did I get that many done? I don't even remember doing.
Yeah, I'm definitely one that enjoys the. I enjoy the piecing aspect of it more than the quilting. So I think I make quilt tops and then I just put them to the side and I'm like, I'll get to it eventually. Like that is definitely me, 100%. I'll admit that quite happily. I'd send them all out to a long arm if I had the money, but I don't. So I'm blind.
When I
Where's my
bought my
stick?
long arm, I thought that would solve all my problems, and it really does. It's just one more piece of it that you need to get done, and um, I don't enjoy it as much as I do piecing or as much as I do cut. I enjoy it because I want to put the pattern I want on there, and then I do want to get it finished. But just loading the quilt and going through all those steps, it's like I have to really think about it. And I'm getting better because I've done
Yeah.
it enough now, but it's still it's not as much fun as coming in here and sitting. To me, that's more mental challenging than this is crafting, and this is just fun.
Oh, for sure. And I think it's one of those things too, is that you do what brings you the most joy. You're like, I'll procrastinate to the end of time if I don't want to do something. So, we'll get there. And maybe I'll do more quilts. Maybe I should start doing like a quilting live once or twice a month, and that might help me um, get some progress on there as well. Okay, so I'm gonna butcher this name. I noticed in advance. Duraka H says hello, watching from Canada, and I butchered that name. I know I did, and I apologize. I'm trying. Good morning to Miss Shannon. It's good to see you as well. Falloness here. She said, what I tried to do was finish them from the year before, and I don't add any more finished quilt tops to my pile. I tried to finish all the tops I did last year. I'd like to be able to say I could do that, but there's no way. There's too many shiny things that I'm going to start. Like I figured the net loss is probably the best thing for me to say, because there's always shiny projects. I'm going to start new stuff. I just know myself way too much. Okay, so Nicole says the cyclone's been downgraded to a tropical low and it has stalled over Brisbane. It'll track west tonight. We're expecting significant rain over the next 24 hours. I'm pretty far from the coast. She's about 3 hours from Brisbane. Okay, so that's good news for you. Yeah, it's when they stall, that's when all the flooding and stuff happens. So we've
Oh.
seen that happen quite a few times over Florida and that sort of thing there as well. So
Well, I mean,
hopefully it
just
all
look
goes.
what happened in North Carolina, what, 9 months ago now? Or
Oh yeah. Hmm.
who would have ever thought a hurricane would go up in the mountains? It's just a weather pattern. Because I lived all over in that area. It's just something you would have never anticipated. And
Well, normally they make a beeline for the Outer Banks, which is
right,
a little strip of islands, off the northeast North Carolina coast. Normally it comes up there, tears that place up, and then it disappears and slams into Halifax or something. But yeah, that one was just a weird one. We got a bit of wind and rain from that, but we did just fine, thankfully. But yeah, it was absolute mess for those poor folks down there.
oh yeah, we used to go to Outer Banks every year for vacation when we lived in Virginia. And I remember the one year we couldn't go, and I can't remember which hurricane it was because it literally took out the bridge, and so you couldn't get over on the island. And
Right.
so,
I
but
can't
I
remember.
remember,
There's so many hurricanes hit that thing. It's like a hurricane magnet.
yeah, it's you just don't realize. I mean, and it's funny because moving out here yesterday, we actually had rain, which is the first time probably in 6 months. And they actually had to shut the airport or delayed flights at the airport because of the winds yesterday. And we're just not used to that because I mean, other than it gets too hot for planes to take off, we typically very seldom have delays because of Phoenix. It's usually because of flights coming East Coast or somewhere,
Right.
with other weather. But our weather pretty much stays pretty mild.
Very nice. I want to say good morning to Josh from Lifting and Stitching. It says good morning. I've watched your I see more on your Instagram. I've been following you for quite a long time, and it's really, really cool to see you here with us this morning. So welcome, welcome. He has a YouTube channel as well. I just put the link up for that. I was told I said the name was, I'm not going to do it twice. I got it right the first time. Name is Croatian. I've had some exchange students here from in the past from Czech Republic, Ukraine, Poland, that sort of thing there. So I have a basic understanding of the pronunciation of the Croatians and other Slavic areas as well. So it kind of gives me a little bit of an edge. Not much, because I can't pronounce it the same way you guys do. But yeah, I kind of cheat in that respect there as well. Eric says if a hurricane can make it to Las Vegas, anything is possible. So true. And then Nicole said the last cyclone that hit near Brisbane was in 1974. There was some storm, it may have just been remnants or something, back in 1990, I think it was, that came, I don't know, I can't remember. I mean, I was still a boy then. Although the last time I was in Australia, we got the remnants. It hit up there, further up the coast between like Townsville and Rockhampton or something, and came down the coast. The last time we were in Australia back in 2017, and it was a good thing we didn't try and fly out the day before, because the flights out of Sydney got cancelled to the US because of the remnants. So went down and visited New Zealand apparently. So
wow,
and that was weird because it was actually would have been the end of early April it was, which was very, very late for not hurricane, cyclones. I'll get it right there in a minute. Interesting, they have different names. Like Norma's up here we call it a hurricane. Over in Asia, it's a typhoon, and then in the southern hemisphere, they're cyclones. But they spin it's so weird seeing the storm spinning down there, because it's spinning in the opposite direction.
Oh, because it's below the equator.
Yes.
Wow.
Like you're used to seeing it spin whichever way it spins. It's too early in the morning. Yeah, but it spins the opposite way down there. Like, I don't know if you watch The Simpsons back in the day, where Bart went to Australia and he flushed the toilet, and the toilet flushes the other way. It's the same thing with the
really?
Yeah. I tried doing an experiment once over the equator when I was on an airplane to see which way the toilet flushed, but it's one of them vacuum toilets. I was like, oh no. I was like, well, there goes that theory. I can't test it. You can't test which way the water flows from the toilet in an aircraft. If you want to try, don't even bother, because the answer is you can't. So good morning, Brian. It's good to see you.
Hey, Brian.
Seeing all the gentlemen pop in here as well as the ladies. It's nice to see everyone here hanging out together, having a good time, seeing what craziness I get up to. I thought I'd get a lot more done. Sometimes I get a lot done during these lives, and sometimes I get absolutely nothing done. And that's okay, because, as long as we all have a good time together, does it really matter? So, all right. Yeah. Josh says he's in North Carolina. We've had some potent systems. Hurricane Flan, I heard about her. Floyd, I heard about her. Matthew, yeah, that one I remember very, very vividly, because I was actually in North Carolina that day when Matthew slammed up the coast and hit about 100 miles from where I was. We were trying to drive back up here. Yeah, that was the one the forecasters got wrong. It came up to the coast of Florida. If it's the same one I'm thinking of, it got to Florida. I think it sat off the coast there for a while, and then it came flying up the coast, and it was supposed to like branch off about South Carolina and go back out to sea. Oh no, we went down to North Carolina too that day we did like a prison ministry with our church. We went into one of the federal prisons down there and did a church service. And when we went down there, like it was cloudy, rainy, out of bounds of those storms like you normally do. And we were fine. We come out and it's like pouring down rain. It's windy as all heck. And we found out as we got out back into our cars, because obviously you don't have a cell phone inside a prison, that it had come ashore about 100 miles from where we were. So that was an interesting ride home. So yeah, Matthew will be one I remember for a very, very, very long time, unless I got the name wrong. All right. Also, thank you for the Nicole says thank you for the email to check in on me. I can appreciate you. Yeah, I reached out to the the quilty friends I had in Brisbane, and a couple of my other mates from like high school and stuff that live up there, just to see how they were doing. I always like to check in on them and see how they're doing. Josh says it did. Matthew parked and changed course. North Carolina was not prepared. Yeah, because as I said that morning, none of us, were told it was going to come up and visit North Carolina. So yeah, that was a mess, that one. Josh, I would love to have you on the channel at some point. If you could send me an email when you get a chance to guywhosews@gmail.com. I mean, I would definitely love to have you on if at all possible. I figure this is a good way to say hi and see if we can work that as well. Aunt Bex Creation says, after Hugo, I don't trust hurricane estimates. Yeah, I kind of treat them with a grain of salt too, because sometimes they get it right and sometimes they get it wrong. You want to just be very, be prepared regardless of what the weather people tell you, because you just never know. Now, if Jim Cantori's coming to town, buckle down. That's all I can tell you. Did you hear he came down to our area a couple of weeks ago for the snowstorm?
No, I didn't.
We were supposed to get, what was it? They kept saying 8 to 12 inches, but they've been telling us, like, the week before and the week, every time a snowstorm was potentially going to hit our area, they were like, oh, we got to get 4 inches, we got to get 6 inches, and we'd get like a quarter of it. So, they kept crying wolf. And then this time they said 8 to 12, and I'm like, okay, we'll probably get 2 or 3. I went and got food and that sort of thing just to be prepared, just in case. And then the night before it hit, we all get this like thing on Facebook that says, oh, watch out, Jim Cantori's coming to town. I'm like, okay, maybe we'll actually get our 8 to 12. So, yeah, we got 8 inches here. So that time they got it right, but yeah, they don't always get it right. So
no, but it's never a good sign if Jim shows up.
Yeah, if Jim's coming to town and you haven't been to the store yet, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I do remember living in Virginia. I mean, as soon as they start talking about snow or any type of weather, there's no bread, eggs, or milk.
They've gotten better over the last couple of years. Like, I went to the store, I think the night before the big snowstorm, and there was still bread, there was still milk, and that sort of thing there. So yeah, they're not quite as crazy. Maybe it was because they kept crying wolf all these times. I wasn't complaining. I'd already gotten my bread and milk a couple of days before. I think I had to go back and get 1 or 2 small things. I think we got snacks for the kids or something like that. But
I always thought it was nice because I always knew stuff at the store was fresh because the shelves were empty. So
that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that, but that's so true. It's like, yeah, it's a good way for them to clear it out. And I was thinking that, like, all these times they told us we were going to get all this snow too. I was like, I wonder if it's like the supermarkets telling these weather people, hey, we got all this old stuff here. Maybe we should tell them it's a snowstorm. We can clear it out.
Could you help a brother out, right?
Yeah, can you help out the economy a little bit?
Crazy.
All right, Nicole said she's off to bed. Yeah, and with that, we will go ahead and start wrapping things up here because I do need to leave a little early. We've got some fun events planned with the family today. You'll get to see some of that on tomorrow morning's podcast. So that'll be a lot of fun. But I didn't want to cancel this morning's live. I figured we'd just run for about an hour rather than an hour and a half. So, John, do you have anything coming up on your channel that you'd like to tell us about?
Nothing special over the next couple of weeks. We're working on just some general projects. I am looking to do some special focus around 3-yard quilts because I met Fran and Donna at QuiltCon. They were amazing. So I have a few patterns that I really want to try and focus there. And then the next holiday quilting bee will be Memorial Day. So that'll be the next opportunity for a 3-hour live to get together and just enjoy being together as a family for the holiday.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, so if you haven't checked out John's channel, I did put the link in there for us to for the live folks. It's also in the description. If you're watching the replay or if you come back later and you're like, hey, what's John's channel? It will be in the description. I do that each week for my guests. So that way, if you ever see a guest of mine, you can't remember their channel link or anything else like that, you can always go check it out. Or, contact us and say, hey, what's so-and-so's link again? I can always send it to you. It's really, really easy for me to do most of the time. So, good morning, Diana. She says, missed you today. Have a great day. She's my friend from Bermuda. It's good to see you again. I haven't seen you in the chat for a while, so it's really good to see you today. So thank you for joining us. As I said, we do need to finish a little early today, but I do want to say thank you so much, John, for hanging out with us today. It's been a pleasure. It's been a while since I've had you on the channel, but we'll have to do this again at some point once we can get our schedules to line up again, because you're busy, I'm busy, but it'd be fun. And then hopefully at some point, once we get our things together, I can come over and be a guest on your place too. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We will make that work.
Yes. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to say goodbye to you all. I hope you all had a great day. If you like today's live, definitely hit that like button. It always helps us out immensely. You can only subscribe once, but you can always like each and every video. So I think that's why we all tell you to do that. Let's see. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, yeah. At 10 o'clock, you can go and visit Donnell. She's going to have a nice live and sale today. 11, Russ. I don't know if Russ is going to be live today. He's out gallivanting around. So I don't know. At 11, go check out Russ's channel. If he's not live, go check out one of his old videos and see what he's up to. And then this afternoon, you'll have Mum and Pop Quilt Shop. At 1, at 4, you'll have Katie. At 5, you'll have Stephanie. And then there's some other folks as well. I can't remember them all. I'm doing my very, very best. And there was something else I was going to say, and I just can't remember what it was. Oh, when are you live? That's what I was going to ask.
Oh, I'm live at 4 o'clock Arizona time, which means tomorrow that's going to be 7 p.m. East Coast time.
Yes, so 7 p.m. tomorrow evening over at John's channel. So if you liked what you saw on John's channel, first of all, go over and hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell. And then, 7 p.m. tomorrow, go over and check out John's channel. He always has some fun stuff going on there as well. So with that, we got to say good afternoon, good morning. I can't remember it's still morning, right? If not, I'm in trouble. Yeah. Anyway, hope you all have a great day. Happy sewing, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.